Love that you fuck with me now, cause you know I keep you around, yeah, you know that I mean it. Temperature down, you fuck with me now, cause you know I keep you around, yeah, you know that I mean it.
Go.
Temperature down, I'm with you when I ain't around. Wanted to get we out, yeah.
3, 2, 1, and plays a big part in I'm gonna fucking butcher this. Very, very big part of my life, and blah, 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 blah. Let's just get over this shit. This is fucking sappy. 3, 2.
I love that you fuck with me now, cause you know I keep you around, yeah, you know that I mean it. Not turning the temperature down, I'm with you when
3,
I ain't
2,
around.
1. Hello and welcome to the Jordan Powers Experience. My name is Jordan Powers. This is episode 9 with my beautiful, wonderful, amazing friend Chelsea McEvoy. I'm not gonna lie, I just finished having a couple drinks with pretty much the whole B&A staff down at Jack's. I'm a little lit up right now, so forgive me for this ad readout. But I'd like to say that Chelsea McEvoy is one of the most amazing people in the Okanagan, man. Like I have nothing but love and admiration for this woman. She pretty much gave me my start in the Okanagan. Like I have a couple people that I can absolutely point out and say that they helped me in this journey. They brought me to the point that I am, and she is one of the first people on that list. She hired me to be a production assistant on a Can-Am Spider commercial like 6 years ago, and yeah, I can genuinely say that I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. She's also the president of the Okanagan Society of Independent Filmmakers. She plays a big part in the nonprofit Accessible Okanagan, which is a nonprofit dedicated to people that have been affected by injuries that have caused them to be in a wheelchair or I don't know all the correct terminology when it comes to all that kind of stuff, but yeah, she regardless, she's just a fucking awesome person, and I was beyond excited to talk to her. Excited that she is doing so well in her career as a filmmaker, and I think she is a genuine inspiration and a person that everybody in town looking to be in the arts sector should look up to. So yeah, I mean, I'd also like to give a shout out to my guy Dana over at Sharks Customs. He made me this beautiful sign, just completely out of the blue. I wasn't expecting it at all, but yeah, the sign will be, if I had a hammer and nail, it'd be up on the wall. It's gonna be there soon, hopefully by the next episode. But yeah, just nothing but love and gratitude for that guy as well, because I mean, look at that thing. It's just fucking beautiful. And yeah, I'm so grateful for all the love and support in this community in the Okanagan. And yeah, both Chelsea and Dana are an example of that. And yeah, I don't know. Without further ado, I'd like to you guys hear from my sponsors. I'm not gonna do the normal readout for Oakham Cannabis on today's episode because Oakham Cannabis is officially in BC cannabis stores. So you've heard, if you've been listening to my podcast, you've heard what I've had to say about them. You've heard their processes. You've heard how quality this shit is. Get out there, go to your local BC cannabis store, ask them, can I have Oakham Smoke'em or Discovery? And can you put it in my face right now? Because I'm telling you guys, this shit is unbelievable. This is the best stuff on the market you can get right now. I highly recommend it. Please go to www.oakhamcannabis.com or to your local BC cannabis store. Ask for Smoke'em Discover. Say Jordan Power sent you. They won't know who I am, but that will just make your whole interaction with the fucking guy at the cashier more interesting. So just do it. And my second sponsor is Garnish Barware. Garnish Barware is trusted behind some of Canada's busiest cocktail bars. They do custom engraved cocktail ware here in Kelowna, BC. My man Griffin is crazy with this shit. He gave me this custom shumida-doobida-ba with the Jordan Powers Experience right on the front there. So look at that shit, man. This thing has been getting a lot of use this summer. I highly recommend Garnish Barware. I highly recommend you go to www.garnishbarware.com. Hit them up. Get after it while we still have some summer left. It's been smoky as fuck this summer, so you know what? You probably deserve to have a little bit of stress taken off your shoulders and have a little nice cocktail. So hit them up, www.garnishbarware.com, www.oakhamcannabis.com. And without further ado, here's my conversation with the wonderful, beautiful, amazing Chelsea McEvoy. Chase!
So much leg. So much leg.
It's table up.
Aw, lower it. Are we filming now?
Yeah, we're starting. We're going to start. Ready?
Okay, I guess so.
3, 2, 1. Chelsea. How are you?
I'm good.
Cheers.
It's so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too. It's been a while.
But I've had many sex dreams about you.
Oh, you're going with that right off the bat.
I had one like 5 years ago, and it was weird.
It is a good ongoing joke,
I can't
though.
look at you the same ever since.
Fair. Well,
I'm so tall and you're so short. It was weird. But yeah, it's been a while, like physically.
You're making me blush over here.
Oh man, now I'm embarrassed. Continue. The film industry in Kelowna is going great.
Yeah, is it? Well, Chelsea, you are one of my favorite people in this town, and definitely in the industry. You pretty much are one of the main reasons I got into the industry, and gave me my start on my first commercial. So, yeah, you're a big reason as to the point that I'm where I'm at. So, thank you for that.
Oh, it's so cool. I mean, what commercial was that we first started on?
The Can-Am commercial, the spider
Can-Am?
one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was the best.
It was a good commercial.
Yeah, and I remember young Jordan Powers. Like, how old were you?
21, maybe?
Yeah,
2021.
So, like, young and keen, and, like, we just made you do so much shit.
I think I just took out garbages from that.
Oh, my God, you worked so hard, though. That's kind of, like, when you're in this industry and you work hard, and if it's taking out the garbage, or, like, I remember you, like, finding people who were parked in spots that we needed, and you were just, you were so keen, and that was, like, that's what you have to do when you get into it, because now look at you. You know?
Yeah, no.
That's so cool.
I couldn't agree more. Definitely being keen and willing to work at the beginning is huge.
Yeah.
And then you eventually burn out and you realize, okay, now I got to start like charging proper for my time and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. But yeah, I like right when I first met you, I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to be friends forever.
Friends for life.
Friends for life.
And then you had a sex dream about me.
I know. Sorry, James.
He knows by this point.
Was it before James? I don't know.
Well, I had a sex dream about James, oddly enough. So
yes.
Yeah, I think we're all good.
Paraplegic sex dreams. Yeah.
That's gonna sound super weird to anybody who doesn't know you or doesn't know what you've been doing. So let's maybe go all the way back.
Should we just start this whole thing over?
No, we're rolling with it.
Oh God.
Let's go all the way back to the beginning, Chelsea. And who are you? How did you end up in the film industry?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Chelsea. My name's Chelsea McEvoy, and I'm a producer, director, editor. And I got my start. I started making films in high school. I was an artist. I always had an artistic mind. I was always very creative, but I never really had an outlet for my creative endeavors. I like to paint and sing very poorly and act very poorly. So I knew I wanted to do something creative, but I couldn't figure out what that was. And then I went to school to Rutland Senior Secondary. And there was a professor called Brent Applegath. I don't know. Have you ever heard of him?
I don't think so, no.
He was the film professor there at Rutland Senior, and I thought he was just a cool dude. So I took his class, and I made my first film, and it was like the light bulb went off, and I was like, this is finally what I want to do. It's the outlet that I've been looking for, and I became a film nerd in like grade 10.
Grade 10, that's when it happened?
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah. I
didn't know what I wanted to do until after high school even,
yeah.
Or that I even was going to get into the film industry. So that's so special to kind of like know from a young age.
That was crazy. It was like instant. As soon as I made it, I was like right on set. I'm like, this is it. It was pretty neat.
And so what did you do after high school?
I took 2 years off. I don't know. Yeah, I took 2 years off and just got some life experience. I don't know why I thought about this, but I just thought, if I'm going to create films and stories and tell different life experience stories, I need life experience first.
Absolutely. Well, we're imitating life through film for the most part, right? So
yeah, like what am I going to write about high school? Like, I mean, yeah. I am an only child who grew up in a very lovely household. Like,
no, damn it.
It kind of did me a disservice. I'm like, I needed a little you know,
some shittiness to happen at some point.
something.
Yeah.
So, but no, I took 2 years off, and then I went to film school in Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Nice.
Little college called Confederation College, and took the film program there for 2 years. Shot on 16 mil, like all those old RE cameras. My first thesis film was shot on a Bolex, like the wind up
Oh, crazy.
Bolexes, changing mags, and it was awesome. So yeah, shot film for 2 years, came back to Kelowna, and film was gone. Digital was
The digital world was here.
Yeah.
So do you recommend film school for people, or?
I mean, yes and no.
Right.
I loved my experience at film school. I remember, do you know Jan? Mm-hmm. Sorry, Jan, I'm going to butcher your last name. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I always attribute me going to film school because of him. I met him and I said, I don't know what I should do. Should I go to film school? And he goes, do what your heart tells you. It's going to be a great experience. So I went. And it was, I met my best friends in film school. We were a tight film community. We got to shoot all of our own thesis films. So we got to direct all of our own films, but work on our friends' films. And I learned a lot. But I did also get most of my experience on set. So I don't know. That's a tough one. If you don't have the funds to go to film school and you want to get on, just get on set. Your experience is going to be amazing, and you're going to learn just as much as you go to film school. But my experience was great. So
yeah, it seems to me like, especially nowadays, with YouTube and the internet being like such like a wide range of knowledge on there, that it's more about like the connections you make if you're going to go to film school. And like, you could be going and sitting beside somebody who's going to go work for Netflix one day, and having that connection is pretty huge.
Totally. And I think the reason I liked it so much is because I did learn a traditional way of filmmaking. I learned a slower pace. I learned to rehearse more because I might not have enough film for that next take, right? So I learned a lot of discipline, and that really helped me in my career. So that's why I went there. I wanted to learn the traditional way of doing things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Doing light meters and measuring how many foot candles like a light is. And
did you have like the dilemma of deciding between, because I feel like when most people get into want to pursue filmmaking, they don't realize that there's so many different jobs on set, and that like somebody like the director isn't necessarily operating the camera, and even sometimes the cinematographer isn't even the one operating the camera. So like, did you kind of have that dilemma of, am I going to be a director? Am I going to be a cinematographer? Am I going to be a producer, an editor?
Yeah, totally. I always wanted to be a director, and I was doing a lot of camera operation at the time and editing. And I thought, I would never want to be an assistant director. What a shitty job. I told that to my girlfriend, like I would never work in that job. And as soon as I got home, I got thrown into the AD department.
Oh my God.
I've been not stuck there because I do really enjoy it, but that's kind of where I got my experience on set was in the AD department.
Well,
and
you're
I loved
so
it.
good at it also.
That's because I like to yell at boys.
Yeah. And what's cool about being in the AD department is you do get kind of close with some of the actors that you work with and stuff. Like, do you have any notable actors or stories from set that you can tell that
possibly
that won't get anybody in trouble?
Maybe. Actually, yeah, they'll never see it, let's be honest.
You don't know
well,
the Jordan Powers experience? It's huge.
No, I've worked with actors like Sir Anthony Hopkins, Ray Liotta, Julia Stiles, Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future, Doc from Back to the Future.
George Clooney, right?
George Clooney,
yeah.
Yes. And what I realized working with those type of actors is that there is a reason. I was discussing this with a friend the other day. There's a reason why they are A-list actors and B-list actors and actors that we don't hear much about. It's because the A-list actors are such a joy to work with. They're lovely people. They're humble. Then you get some other actors that are just not.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean that their talent isn't there. It's just the people who are humble and kind and treat people nicely are the ones that excel to the top.
Totally.
So I don't even know what we were talking about. I only have one sip of my beer. Did I like answer any of that?
Yeah, you answered it perfectly. I was asking you which actors you've worked with and if you had any stories that you could tell from.
I'll tell you
set.
a really good one.
Perfect.
Okay. I was working with. No, I don't know if I can tell you.
Okay, dude, we can come back to it.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you.
Just don't say the name. Just say actor list number one.
Yeah, I was working with a really well-known actor.
Okay.
Actress. And we had a really good connection. I was just recently got involved with my partner, my husband, James. And so I was very excited about this new relationship. And she was looking for love and really wanted that. And so we really bonded. And she had met the DIT. And the DIT was a very good-looking guy.
And can you describe what a DIT is on set?
Digital image technician. So they kind of organize the footage and back up all the cards and even start doing assembly cuts in the camera truck.
And not usually the most best-looking dudes, in my experience. No offense to
no
all the
offense
DITs
to
out
the
of there.
DITs.
But, I mean, come on. You're in the back of the camera truck.
You're kind of hidden. You're the troll in the back.
100%.
But yeah, so one day she just started disappearing on set and I couldn't find her. And I found her macking with the DIT.
Yes.
And the only reason I'm saying this story is because they ended up getting married.
Oh,
and
wow.
They have a baby.
Oh, my. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it worked out really awesome, and I'm super happy for her.
I actually haven't heard that story before, so you'll have to tell me who it is off camera.
I will.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How has the film industry grown in the Okanagan in your perspective? And are we heading in the right direction? And you're also speaking as a Madam President of the Okanagan Society of Independent Filmmakers. So you have a very good perspective in all this.
I guess I shouldn't have talked about the sex dream, considering I'm the OSIF president. I forgot about that.
Well, the presidents of past have all been sketchy characters also, probably. So
Kelly Beltry.
Yeah, I think he's had a sex dream about me once or twice also. So.
Oh, man. No, I can only really go from what I'm seeing, but I think you can agree that the film industry, particularly right now, is super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Like the most active it has been to date.
Yeah, Hallmark has set its roots in town, it feels like.
Hallmark, we got some really great like just thriller and action films coming to town, and but not only like that scene, the independent filmmaker scene is so exciting right now. People are hungry, people are excited. You see like a twinkle in people's eye, and they're just super keen and ready to collaborate. And it's really exciting. Can you feel that? Do you feel it?
I think so. I'm not as connected to the local film industry as I was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
For example, being like at the film factory and working on set and stuff. But I've been working in the music video scene pretty heavily recently, and just the artists there, like there's something in Kelowna right now when it comes to the creative culture, and I think that bleeds into all different industries.
Yeah, something's bubbling up right now, and I'm really excited. And there literally is like world-class talent here, whether it be crew, actors, musicians, videographers. Like the talent here is amazing, and I just hope that we can like keep it here this time, So that's kind of what we're working towards, is just creating this really big creative cultural hub that people don't feel like they need to escape to a bigger city to thrive.
It's always been this which came first, the chicken or the egg kind of scenario in the Okanagan from my perspective. Is like you need a set of quality, well-trained crew in order for the bigger, more well-paying productions to come into town.
Yeah.
But if those bigger, more well-paid productions aren't in town, well, then the crew leaves to a place like Vancouver, Toronto, LA, New York, or wherever to go and find that work. And so it's like, well, which comes first, the chicken or the egg, the crew or the productions? And I think we have the crew here and the productions here now. So it's a matter of just like sticking with it, and hopefully, people get paid what they're worth.
People get paid what they're worth. They get fed good. They get treated good. I mean, that's the goal.
Well, and we're not really taking on union films yet, are we? That's probably the next step.
I hope so. And I do really hope, like, I think what Kelowna needs, and I think a lot of people back me up on this, is a really good TV series.
Right.
Right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Because then it's like that's for people that don't know, when you're working on set, it's like you're clocking in at whatever time, depending on what scenes you have to shoot that day. If it's a night scene, you could be starting your day at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And then you're likely on set for the next 12 to 14 hours.
Sometimes 17, 18, 19 hours. Yeah.
Totally. And you're doing that for a month, maybe two, depending on the size of the production. Whereas I haven't worked on a TV series, but I've heard it's much closer to like a 9 to 5 job. Yeah. I'm sure like camera department and other departments like the AD department work longer than 8-hour days, but it seems like it's at least more like a 9 to 5 than movies.
Yeah, and just the consistency is there, right? Instead of hopping from one film to the other and hoping, that another one comes.
So do you plan on working on a lot of these productions? Are you working on these productions, or are you focused on your own stuff?
Yeah, I mean, like with the right story, maybe I'd jump on board again. I did work as a training assistant director in a lot of films. Wendy Ord was my mentor for a lot of years.
She's an OG in this town, eh?
Yeah, she was a great mentor and got to, she really opened the door for me to learn how to AD, and I watched her for years. So really grateful for her time she put into me. Thanks, Wendy. But yeah, just kind of took a break and started focusing on my own stuff. And I've been full-time documentary for the last 4 years. And that's been super cool. So, and then slowly now gravitating towards more narrative work, which is scary and exciting and new.
And that's kind of what we all, most of us, I feel like, get into it for, is the narrative filmmaking.
Yeah, you forget that.
Right?
There's a period of time where you forget that that's what the goal was all along. And you go, oh, yeah.
Well, because corporate pays our bills for the most part, and working for small businesses. And
Yeah.
So with your documentaries, you've been having a lot of success, though.
Thanks, Jordan.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you got going on?
Sure. Yeah, we Ryan Tebbett. You know Ryan Tebbett?
Yes.
Ryan Tebbett and I have been shooting a couple docs over the last couple years. We make a really great team. We kind of grew up on set together and have been making films together. For
the Lord King himself.
The Lord King. That's it. Who's that? Kelly or?
No, that's Ryan.
Oh, the Lord King.
In my opinion,
Ryan.
that's Ryan. He puts it on Kelly, but.
But we've developed this really great working relationship and have really grown together in the craft. So we've been shooting a couple docs together. We shot, Ryan directed Wheel Love, which was a short documentary, 22 minutes, about James, my husband, and I trying to have a baby.
Right.
Which is less gross than it sounds.
It was one of the funniest and most touching documentaries I've seen in a long time. And whether I knew you or not, if I would have saw that film, it would have brought a tear to my eye. So you did an amazing job behind the camera and in front.
Thanks. Yeah, and Ryan did an amazing job. Mike Peterson was on sound. Noah Dorsey actually shot that one of the last scenes. Noah was the one to write on my.
And can you tell the kind of synopsis of what Wheel Love was about?
Yeah, so Wheel Love's a short 22-minute doc on James and I trying to get pregnant. My husband is a T6-7 paraplegic, so he's paralyzed from the chest down. And having a baby, when you have a disability, sometimes can be a little bit more complicated. So it was our journey through infertility and trying to start a family. And it also touched on, disability, infertility, and how to navigate the two. So you'll have to watch it to find out if I got pregnant or not.
I think you kind of already spoiled it with Noah.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'll bleep it so people won't know.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks.
And you interviewed a bunch of people from the local, what would you say, the local paraplegic community, or I don't know the correct term?
Yeah, so James is the president of a nonprofit called Accessible Okanagan. So it's a community of 300 plus strong people with mobility impairments or disabilities. And I chose people from the community who'd started a family or were parenting from a wheelchair or couldn't have kids at that point. And we did, you remember the movie, He's Just Not That Into You, where they have, streeters and they're talking about their experiences throughout the film? That's kind of the feel I was going for. Yeah, and it was neat to just, they're people I love dearly, but I was very grateful that they were so vulnerable and real through that process, because what we're talking about isn't easy. We're talking about your very private life, and sometimes it was difficult to open up, for me as well. So I'm very grateful that they were willing to do that, because that's how we start conversations and start change.
Well, it's such a unique perspective that most people probably wouldn't have had insight into until they seen your documentary.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so many people are battling infertility, but nobody talks about it.
Right.
And as soon as I started, as soon as we started this process and the documentary, I started talking about it more, and I couldn't believe how many people were going through it. It was crazy. Like, almost every second person I talked to was like, oh, me too. I'm going through that. What are you know? And sometimes staying silent on something like that makes it more emotional and the more secluded and feeling alone. So
it's amazing how therapeutic your art can be.
Yeah, it was very cathartic. Is that the word?
I think so.
Cathartic. Yeah, I think it helped me through that process. I think I would have had a more rougher time going through that if I didn't make the film. It was still rough, but I had James there. I had my friends there. I was interviewing people who had gone through the process. And, you know, Ryan, Noah, and Mike were like really respectful and gracious with me.
Yeah, totally.
Going through that. They gave me the space and time I needed to.
Well, and what a vulnerable position for like one of your documentaries to just be the main character.
Oh my gosh, I never recommend it.
I never
recommend it. No, but I mean, another piece of advice is if you are doing a biographical film on yourself, please get someone else to direct it. You know, I couldn't imagine directing that myself. So Ryan did such a great job taking that on.
Yeah. I was always surprised when I got into the film industry that my favorite part about it would be like the connections and the kind of relationships you develop when the camera's not rolling. I could imagine that was pretty, we just talked about how much that community means to you, but like, was it, did you all become closer because of it? Like, especially the people you were interviewing, because like you guys were having a blast behind the camera. It seemed like in those outtakes.
Oh, totally. Yeah. We had a great time. I mean, whenever we can get together anyways is always a great time, but when you're working on something, and I was very grateful for them. So whenever you're doing a project, you become a family and you become a unit, like a singular working unit. So for that, even that short period of time when you're working together, you are a community in your own little family. So.
And how did that project lead into your most recent project that has been on the film festival circuit? Yeah.
So Ryan and I released Wheel Love very quickly. We put it out online, and Story Hive was streaming it. And Tell Us Story Hive has been one of our biggest funders, which is an amazing program. If you can apply, anyone can apply for that. I highly recommend it. And please come talk to me if you do, because I have nothing but good things to say about them.
And you have a pretty good connection with them, so if anybody knows how to work with Tell Us, it'd be you.
They're amazing. They're literally amazing, and they give you creative control, which no other funders do. It's wild. You know, once that film is out on the streaming platform, it is yours to do what you will with it, and it's pretty much yours through the whole process. It's amazing. It's a really neat. I haven't found anything else that would provide that. It's like, here's money, go make your movie.
Yeah, seriously.
That's it? Yeah. I mean, like, they're good at providing you mentors and giving you structure and deadlines, but it's really up to you on what you do with it. But we applied for another one. I applied for a doc about James's nonprofit and the community here, because it really is an incredible community. When I first met James 8 years ago, I approached him and I was like, hey, I want to do a documentary on you and your community. I think it's really cool. And then we just ended up making out, and I never made the doc.
No way. That never works for me.
I know.
I just get stuck with these documentaries I don't want to make.
I ended up with a husband, so that was cool. But yeah, so I was like, I should probably make this now, but I did need that like 7 to 8 year period to breathe and like actually learn
Right.
what being a paraplegic meant and being absorbed in the community. And so we applied for the funding and we got it. So we did a 60-minute documentary, so our first feature on the same budget as Wheel Love. So we stretched it out pretty far, but Ryan and I looked at each other and we were like, we have to make a feature. Like that is the next step in our careers. Like that is what we have to do. So we just stretched that money as much as we could. And the story was always going to be about the wheelchair community, but around that serendipitous, right? The universe working its magic. Unfortunately, in this case, but we had heard about a man named Dan McLean. He was a former respiratory therapist in Kamloops, and he was injured in a hunting accident. And he had just gotten home from rehab. He was a T4 paraplegic, so he's chest down as well. And I thought, wouldn't it be really interesting if we could follow this man around for a whole year and document his journey of life in a wheelchair and watch the community kind of rally around him and show him the ropes?
Yeah.
And that meant that I had to call him and ask that.
Oh, jeez.
Just a very uncomfortable
Especially,
conversation to have.
yeah, because that's such a life-changing thing. And I'm sure you go through a wide range of emotions.
Yeah.
And then to have somebody call you and say, hey, can I film all of that?
I know. I was like, you know what, I didn't want to do it, but at this stage in the game, I have learned that if you're scared to do something, that means that it's the right decision.
Oh, interesting.
You got to take that leap, right? Because then you're just playing it safe. And no one's going to want to watch a movie when you're playing it safe.
Yeah.
So.
Did filming Wheel Love and putting yourself as the main character and being vulnerable, did that kind of make it easier to ask him to be the star in your show, or like?
No.
Really?
I mean, I was maybe it did. I think it helped later on.
Because I feel like at that point you can relate to him, be like, look, I've been through this. I know, you know.
I guess so. It helped later on. Later on when we were filming, I was able to empathize more. Like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But that initial phone call was just super nerve-wracking. Like, I wasn't sure what he was going to say. And he was very lovely on the phone. And then we talked to his wife, and they both agreed to do it, which is crazy. Like, I was expecting them to tell me to go pound sand,
Yeah.
But they were like, okay. And that's a testament to, so his wife's name is Colleen. That's a testament to who Dan and Colleen are. They're teachers and they want to share. And they literally took the shittiest time in their life and turned it into a learning experience for other people, which is super admirable. And
no doubt.
They're amazing people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And I don't want to ruin anything for the documentary so that people can go see it, but like, I'm like, do you want to say how he became paralyzed? Or?
Yeah. No, we can. So he was in a hunting accident near Invermere, and his brother and him were hunting. They had got a turkey, and something happened on his brother's rifle, and it accidentally shot him in the back.
Oh no.
Which is crazy, right into his T4. So yeah, it's an unfortunate accident, but within that there's been a lot of healing, and I mean, it's an accident. That's what it is.
Yeah. Did you interview his brother at all, or?
No, we didn't go there, but there's been a lot of healing there. So yeah. And they
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't, most films about spinal cord injury and people in wheelchairs are about the accident and about how it happened and about maybe, overcoming that grief and that healing that relationship. I didn't want to focus on the accident because that was not what was important. What was important was his healing and the community rallying around him and him getting back on his feet again. And I think that's what made this film so special, is it's not typical. It's literally from the viewpoint of someone in a chair. It's not this inspirational, sad story. It's funny. It's happy. It's like life does get better and life moves on and you adapt and you deal with it. So I didn't want to dwell on the accidents. Actually, like the accident is probably a 5-second scene in the movie.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't like dwelling on those because it happened. Like let's figure out where we're going from here.
Yeah. And it's such a testimony to like the human spirit. And
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to watch it.
Yeah. So where can people go and see the documentary? Is
Yeah,
it still on the film festival circuit or?
Yeah, we just finished our film festival circuit. It's really exciting. We won at the Chelsea Film Festival
Hey, there you go. It was meant to be.
in New York. So that was
Wow.
really, really cool. And we haven't announced it yet, but we just won at the Over the Rhine Film Festival in Cincinnati, which is a very big disability-based film festival. So we won Best Documentary, which is
God.
super awesome. And we got into Lunenburg, Austin Film Festival.
Damn.
Yeah, just a bunch of like the Orlando Film Festival. We got into a lot of really cool places this year.
And you're coming home with silverware as well.
Woo woo. Yeah. But so right now we're working on distribution. It did air its Canadian television debut on Accessible Media Inc. And that was awesome. I think we were number 29 out of 69 in Canada programming that night.
Wow,
so
nice.
we weren't 69, so that was good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and so we're working on a world premiere coming up in September, and then we're going to be putting it out onto many streaming platforms. So
Awesome.
we'll keep everyone updated on the Facebook page there.
Sweet. And yeah, we'll put a link in the description to wherever the most recent spot people can go see it at.
Yeah.
And yeah, what was it like being on the film festival circuit during a pandemic? I'm sure you couldn't travel to any of these places, right?
Yeah,
Or-
super underwhelming.
Yeah, you want to be popping champagne on the podium in New York?
Yeah, I was
and-
popping champagne in my fleece, like pajamas, sitting on the couch, like super underwhelming. Yeah, it was. But you know what? I give it to the film festivals. Like this film is about adapting, and the people that put on the film festivals during the pandemic adapted. Like they put on pretty great events. Obviously not as good if we were in person, but they did a great job
Nice.
for what it was, you know. And so yeah, when you release like your first feature film, you want like to be in the theater and watch people watch it, but you adapt, and that's what this movie was about. So Ryan and I adapted, and we figured out how we could do it. We did a couple live streams on YouTube and Q&As, and yeah, so it was interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break
Yes.
and hear from some sponsors, but we'll be right back, people.
But you fuck with me now, 'cause you know I keep you around, yeah, you know that I mean it. Knock the temperature down, I love that you fuck with me now, 'cause you know I keep you around, yeah, you know that I mean it. Not turning the temperature down, I'm with you when I ain't around, wanted to get we out, yeah, you know I mean it. 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 You know that I mean it.
Here, like you have this beautiful catch light in your eye, and I just got this dull blackness.
I don't understand why it's not working.
Plug it in, Jordan.
What's going on?
I'm not even lit.
Oh, it's somebody else.
You didn't even plug.
Unplugged it.
Oh, did I?
I don't know.
Oh.
Look at it. It's gonna flash.
Oh, I'm back, baby.
I'm back.
I'm
baby.
back. This second half is gonna be wild. We're gonna lose. I had 2 more sips of my beer. Things are getting cray cray.
Shit. Have you been drinking a lot over the pandemic?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I haven't. I'm like really disappointed in myself.
Good for you. I feel like most people drank more during the
No,
pandemic.
James drank way more,
Yeah.
but I drank way less.
I
Yeah.
got into wine because I was drinking way too much beer. So I was like, I'm gonna become a connoisseur.
Oh, did you get fat?
Did I get what?
Were you getting fat?
No. No, I I don't want to brag, but I have a hard time putting on weight. So if anything, like I gotta fucking drink beers to get it going. So yeah. But anyways, we're back.
Oh, okay.
We'll see where I cut.
That was a great intermission.
One thing. One thing that I've noticed about you, and that it's funny that you kind of helped give me my start, and where I've been getting into music videos a lot, is like that branch between the film industry and the music industry here in town. And like you're so well connected to kind of like the indie rock scene here in town. Like, how key is the music scene in your creative abilities and doing music videos when it came to like making feature films, documentaries, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I think I love making music videos, and I love the music community here. Like, as we have our film community, we have our music community, and you know that they're like the most phenomenal group of people, and just so creative and inviting, and you just want to help. You know, like they're so talented that you just are like, I'll make a video for you, and just like get famous, please. Why aren't you
so
famous
you can pay
yet?
me to do more music videos.
Exactly.
Again.
Yeah, but I mean, like Layla Neverland. Like, why is she not famous?
She is so talented. I hosted a party called Summer's End one time, and I had one too many beers, and I was up on stage with a microphone, and she performed, and then I think what I said was, "Did an angel just make love to my ears?" And nobody laughed, and she looked horrified after, but I meant it. I felt like an angel made love to my ears that night.
That's a really good way of saying it. Like, yeah, she is an angel. I'm like, why is no one like, oh, she should be just up there?
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
And among many, many other people here. But I mean, to answer your question, I mean, the music community is been very inviting, and I've loved working with them. And in return, I mean, like, yes, we want to help people out with music videos, but in return, if you watch Wheel Love, if you watch Reinventing the Wheel, or any other docs that I've done, it's always had a local music like component mixed in with it. We have like lots of music from Garrett Scatterdy, Tiger Moon, My Kind of Karma, Isaac, Layla. Like, let's just get their music pumped out, because at least if the documentary is being seen, their music is being heard as well. And it's a good win-win situation in that way, and it's world class, and it really enhances your film as well. So I mean, yeah, I love how the two can mesh together.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I use Cameron Ambrosio's music for most of like the podcast, and then whenever I can put other local hip hop artists' music in my stuff, I try to.
Yeah.
Was music videos a good way of kind of like cutting your teeth in the game when it came to like directing and producing, or did you learn more maybe on movie sets? Or
I think both mediums have different learning components to it. I learned in the music video industry that I wasn't a good shooter anymore, and I didn't want to shoot. But I mean, that was kind of a blow to my ego, you know. But I was shooting a ton of music videos, and I knew what I wanted to do, and I realized that I can shoot to get a job done. Like, I'm a decent shooter, but there are people out there that are far more better than I am, and I had to really let down my ego and then start contracting out people. And that was a huge step in my career forward, learning that I don't have to do it all by myself.
Yeah.
Because you can't. Let's be honest.
It's impossible.
You're as good as your team, really. And I was trying to do it all. I was trying to shoot, direct, edit, produce, AD. Like, there's just no way. Your craft suffers because of it. It's a team effort to make art.
Well, and your personal life suffers from it also, because you're just the amount of stress and time it takes to juggle that many plates at one time, or spin that many plates at one time. I guess is the correct way of saying it. It's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah. How do you kind of cope with burnout and everything? Because I don't think I've met a single filmmaker in this town who hasn't burnt out.
I mean, if you ask James, I don't cope with burnout. No. You know, it's an ever-evolving process. And I think as we get older, we learn to put boundaries up. We learn to say no to certain types of jobs that don't suit us or that aren't in our wheelhouse. So I think to avoid burnout, I started saying no a lot more. And but that came with a lot of like my friends and family, Ryan as well, just being like, stop doing work for free. Especially work that doesn't serve you. Like if it's going to help you flex your directing muscles or help you learn, then yes. But I was saying yes to everything, and I was getting exhausted, and I wasn't getting anything from it. Does that make sense?
No, it's how we're trained to be when we first get into this industry, to say yes to everything. Right? Like, and because you kind of have to get noticed and to get your foot in the door. And then, you get to that point where it's not realistic anymore.
It's not realistic. It's not helping you, and it's not helping your community. I think
or your clients.
Or your clients. I mean, someone told me once, you're doing a disservice to the filmmakers around you because you're doing stuff for free, and that's setting a precedence. I mean, I don't know what it is about filmmaking and what we do, but a lot of people don't think that it costs money. And we've went to school for this. We
stupid fucking things in our pocket.
We have suffered to get where we're at. You know, we're worth it. So we just need to know our worth, and we need to start owning up to that. So I think the answer to your question is to avoid burnout. I say no a lot more, and then when I am burning out, I just try and stop, read a book. Get some sleep. You know, spend some time alone.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about this because I would consider you not only one of the most successful and talented filmmakers in town, but
oh my goodness,
specifically, you got to be probably the most successful and talented female filmmaker in town to a certain extent.
That's a steep. I don't know about
that. Like there's plenty of very talented people, but you have a lot of accolades in your corner to kind of back that up. So what has the experience of being a female in the local film industry been like, or just the film industry in general?
I mean, I don't know if I'm the most successful. There's so many great females here, and you're about to meet all of them. But I think the only reason you say that is because I've been doing this for about a decade, and I think it's just because I haven't given up.
Well, that's so key, though.
You know, like I haven't quit yet, which is key if you want to be in this industry. I mean, like it knocks you down so hard.
And I don't say that to put shade on any other female filmmakers in town. There's so many talented people, but you're definitely one of the best, if not the best.
Oh, thanks, Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be short-lived if I am, so don't worry. But I think, I don't know. I mean, I think being a female in the industry is the same as being a dude in the industry. You're just surrounded by more dudes, I guess. But I've never really looked at it that way. I've never really looked at it that way. Maybe I've gotten less jobs sometimes because I am a girl. Maybe I've seen that a couple times. I've also gotten more jobs because I am a girl, and that's what requires people for funding. So that's not cool either. When someone's asking you to do a job just because they need to have a girl on set because it's a requirement, that's kind of not cool. That's when you say no. But I think it's the same as being a dude. What the trick is just to find supportive people. Yes, I'm surrounded by men quite a bit, but like the best of men. Nice. They've been my mentors and peers and biggest supporters, like yourself, Ryan, Kelly, Mike, like, oh my goodness, just so many world-class dudes that have been like, how can we help you? Here's free gear. Can we they'll come shoot something for me. Like, they're world-class dudes. You guys are all world-class dudes.
Well, thank you.
So, I mean, I'm very lucky as a female in the industry because there's just this huge supportive background of men and women. So,
well, and I think the reason why it's important to kind of like hear your perspective on it and stuff is because the film industry, more specifically in Hollywood, has not necessarily been the most inclusive and respectful place for women to be in. And obviously, like, the whole Me Too movement started because of kind of the culture that was surrounded Hollywood. and the Harvey Weinstein situation. And so it's good to hear that, like, at least here in the Okanagan, you haven't had any too terrible experiences.
No. I mean, there's been a couple, and I mean, that's a couple too many.
Yeah.
You know, I've early on in my career, I had an electric grab my ass every day for 3 months, and I didn't say anything. And so I understand how those things can happen. I was new in the industry. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to be a bitch, or I didn't want to be a whistleblower. You know, I wanted that job and I wanted the experience, so I just let it happen. There was another shoot I was on where I had someone texting me what I was wearing every day, but I couldn't find, like, I was a production coordinator, and I would go to the bosses and be like, I'm scared. There's someone, like, on the crew texting me. I don't know who they are, and kind of sexual innuendos. Ugh. And no one cared. Like, no one did anything about it. So we've come a long way, and like, the Me Too movement, yes, like, I'm so happy that it's come out. As I've gotten older, I've developed a spine, and luckily it's not happened to me a lot, but it did happen, and that was like 2 incidents too many, you know. And so I hope as we start crewing up now, you know, we're more aware of those things, and we're more inclusive, and we're more making a comfortable atmosphere for people. We not to say we can't have fun, because we all know that I like to hug you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's a line.
There's a clear difference.
There's a very clear difference,
yeah.
And there's no room for that in the film industry at all. But those were 2 instances, and there's so many amazing men and women here.
Yeah, I would agree.
So many. I wouldn't have had the successes that I've had without them. So.
Yeah, and I don't think I've heard stories in the local industry, but unfortunately, the sad reality is you hear those stories kind of in every industry. Which just is unfortunate. Do you think it's important to create kind of a inclusive, like? No, that's a dumb way of asking it. Do you think
I'll take a drink. I'll take a drink, and maybe I can think of my answer.
Yeah, is it important to kind of carve out a specific space for, like, a female-only cast or a female-only crew?
Oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, okay, we're segueing. Segueing into... Yes, okay. Obviously not a singer. Yes, Jordan, I do think.
Do tell more.
Oh, okay. We're embarking on a really cool endeavor right now. So now that the world has kind of opened up a little bit, OSIF's starting to do a little bit more with the community. We are hosting Horror Fest again in October, which I'm so excited about. Do you know what you're going to be?
Like, what do you mean? For a costume?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not yet.
Oh, I have such a great idea, but I'll tell you off camera.
Okay, deal.
Okay.
Kelly's still trying to get me to act as a buddy, which I don't want to give anything away on camera.
Oh, you have to.
We'll talk about that off camera.
You have to. I am a big. You have to. We'll chat about it.
We'll chat. But please tell more about.
Jordan's gonna act with Buddy.
The things that you got
Kelly
going
Veltry's
on
new film.
for Horror Fest.
Yeah, no. So Horror Fest is going down, and I had a bright idea, which I'm so jazzed about, is that for our Horror Fest submission this year, I want to do an all-female cast, crew, like edited everything there. And it's not a man-hating club by any means, but
not.
We just want to get all the female filmmakers in the Okanagan to make something and make something great.
Yeah.
So we had a session last night where 6 female screenwriters all met up. We threw ideas around. We honed in on a very, very good idea. We're meeting on Monday. We're going to write the script, and then we're going to crew up, and we're going to do the first ever all-female made Horror Fest film.
I love it. I'm really excited to see it. I think it's a great idea.
We're going to scare your pants off. It's going to be so good.
Do you kind of have a cast already picked out for the whole thing, or?
We have some cast, but we're crewing up, and it's crazy. Like, we're looking for female sound girls. We're looking for female post sound. We're looking for female DPs, second camera assistants, B cams. Like, it's it's wild, and they're out there,
Yeah.
and this is the reason we're doing it, because we want to find those people, because sometimes they don't get those opportunities
And
either.
the first, before I met you, the first project I ever worked on was a Horror Fest submission with Travis Cross.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're even looking to get into the film industry, I don't know how many women are listening to my podcast, but if you're looking to get into the film industry, like offering to volunteer on local filmmakers' short film, because often they're doing it for free or out of their own pocket, is some of the best way to get your foot in the door and get insight into the industry, and also meet people that can start throwing jobs your way once they do have money. So
Totally.
if there are any young aspiring female filmmakers out there, where can they find you and how can they contact you to get involved?
I don't know what my Instagram handle is.
I
like,
think it's
do
just
you?
Chelsea. Yeah, I think it's just
oh
your
my
name.
gosh, I'm. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook and I was gonna say Tinder, but you can't find me on Tinder.
Oh, it's Chelsea_Jade_McEvoy McEvoy 13.
Is that what it is?
That's your Instagram. Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
look, there I am. Just find me on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Or email. Do you want to throw your email out? Or you don't have to.
Yeah, you can email me at chelseamcavoy@gmail.com.
There you go.
Yeah, but I would love to. Yeah, I'd love to meet up with some more female filmmakers in this town.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell Sid about it right away also, and see if there's maybe a role for her, or at least she can audition.
She was so lovely to work with as well on Palatus. It was, she's a amazing. Yeah.
She's dope. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
she did really good in that film. And that was fun to see you guys kind of all hang out without me being there. That was like really kind of cool to see.
That was my
like,
favorite part. No, I'm just joking.
Fair enough. I don't blame you.
No, it was really cool. We shot a short film in a barn with a spaceship, and Jordan's sister acted, and she's.
Yeah, and you guys you created pretty much the whole interior of a spaceship for that short film.
Yeah, that was all Zach Jones.
There you go. Shout out Zach Jones. Yeah,
Shout
that
out.
guy
He actually won an award at a sci-fi film festival for best set design on that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
he's so
nailed it.
talented.
Yeah.
So talented. What else do you got going on for you, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out whoever you want to shout out what you got going on, where people can find you, all that good stuff.
I mean, like, I don't really know. Wheel Love's actually doing its Canadian television debut tonight on AMI. So sorry you missed it, because this isn't going to come out tonight. But yeah, it's going to be shown on TV tonight, so that's pretty cool. That's being shown at 7:30 tonight. So
Nice.
That's exciting. And yeah, Reinventing the Wheel is going to be out on streaming platforms in the fall, so I'm really looking forward to that. We're also going to send it to all the spinal cord injury rehab facilities all over the world. So I'm really looking forward to new injuries, kind of watching this and not being inspired, but, you know, being shown that there's life after paralysis and a good life. Just finished co-directing on Alvin Tam's film, Shadow
Nice.
Circus. That's going to come out pretty soon. Alvin's just like plunking away in this editing hole. The footage looks great. That was like a Cirque du Soleil acrobatic action film, and it was so much fun
You
to
guys
work
stole
on.
my cinematographer for that one.
I know.
You stole him. Noah
He
Dorsey.
nailed it.
He's a genius.
He nailed it, and that was like one of the biggest films I've seen him DP, and
Yeah.
he did so good. Yeah, that was amazing. And yeah, who knows what's next for this one? We take some time off. I have a 98-page comedy script that I'm gonna be trying to push this fall.
Nice.
So,
Yes.
yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Very exciting. Okay. And people can find you on Instagram, as we established.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere to donate to any films or projects? Do you run GoFundMe's at all, or?
Not yet, but I mean, like, just keep posted on, like, you know, Accessible Okanagan and the Reinventing the Wheel Facebook page and where it comes out. But yeah, I mean, you could donate money to me if you want.
Yeah, just
$100 here, $100 there. I'll take it.
Yeah, deal. Just
Can
send
I-
an e-transfer to that Gmail account.
Yeah,
that you
if
heard
anyone's
earlier.
going to donate money to anything, it should be for Jordan to fund his podcast. So
Yeah.
yes, send the Jordan Powers Experience.
Yeah, I'm about to be
some
on the
funding.
streets, people. So
Yeah,
we need
corner
help over here.
Queensway and Pandozy.
Exactly. Don't tell people where the office is.
Oh shit.
No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
literally maybe 100 people that listen to this, so it's not.
No, it's gonna be millions.
Yeah,
Millions. Yeah.
One day. Well, Chelsea, thank you for coming on to the Jordan Powers Experience.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure.
It's just nice to see your face.
Right? It's been a minute.
I know.
It's been a minute. It's nice to
awesome.
see your face too.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Well, that's all, people.
Bye.
Peace.
We did it.
Roll off, we rolling it out.